Good morning, and I start by offering my sincerest condolences to those families who lost loved ones overnight, and you remain in our thoughts and prayers. Today, of course, we have launched the roadmap for 70% double vaccination for this state, for the people of New South Wales, and hopefully it gives a level of hope and light at the end of this tunnel, the long winter, and gives us an opportunity to come together and know that it is worth fighting for. It's important that we stick to the course of being vaccinated and being vigilant following, of course, the lockdown and the stay-home orders that are in place today, because only together are we able to achieve the end result, and that is a level of freedoms. But for regional rural New South Wales today, vast amounts of the regions will open. Mid-North Coast to the North Coast to the Northwest, Albury to Riverina and Murrumbidgee areas, but parts of regional New South Wales won't open. The southern part, southeast, the Illawarra Shoalhaven area, the Hunter region, Central Coast, out to the Central West, parts of the Far West won't open today, and that's based on the work that we've done with health, looking at parameters around how you can lift restrictions and open up the regions. It's based on active cases in the community, and we know with, of course, COVID, the way it's contagious and transmissible, we've got to have a level of protection for regional rural New South Wales. For those areas that are coming out of lockdown, that you are not coming back to a pre-lockdown environment, there will be capacity limits for our hotels, cafes and restaurants, including the 4 square metre rule, mask wearing, social distancing. There's rules around certain activities that won't recommence. Community sport won't be permitted. But the opportunity to get back to retail shopping, back to work, back to enjoying time with family and friends. It is still a restricted environment because we know through sewage surveillance and our surveillance there is seeding across the regions, and there is a risk that the COVID pandemic continues in regional rural New South Wales. And I need to make this absolutely clear. For all those communities that are coming out of lockdown today, it is a nice feeling, but if there is an active case in your community, you will go back into lockdown for a minimum of 14 days. That is the commitment that we've made to health, that it is important that we protect communities. One case is one case too many in the regions. It's no different to how we started this in the regions. When Orange had its first case, we went into lockdown. When Armidale had its first case, we went into lockdown. So we'll apply the same logic. Our sewage surveillance does give us an opportunity to almost foreshadow what is occurring, and there are a couple of local government areas today that we're keeping an eye on. Even though you may come out of lockdown today, it's possible before even Saturday you could go back into lockdown. So again, I just want to be upfront with the people of regional rural New South Wales. We're trying to find the balance, trying to do the right thing, but we're hoping, fingers crossed, that this level of opening up in parts of regional rural New South Wales will give us an ability to get back to a level of normal. Getting vaccinated is still the key. Being vaccinated is the key for the long-term success of never going back into lockdown. And to those communities in regional rural New South Wales, just because we're opening today, please don't take your foot off the accelerator in relation to getting vaccinated. I know the people of Orange, for instance, the last couple of days have had walk-in clinics. They've come forward and they've been vaccinated. Yesterday, the walk-in clinic was overwhelmed. We had to actually start turning people away, and that's great news in a way, and in Bathurst the same, that the people of regional rural New South Wales understand that the ultimate passport to freedom is actually vaccination. I don't want this opening of the regions today, in parts of the regions, to slow down our vaccination rates, because long term, as we follow the roadmap for New South Wales, there will be a moment in time where vaccinated people will have further freedoms, and that I want to make sure regional and rural New South Wales has the same freedom. So again, today it is a bittersweet day for the regions, where some areas will open up to a restricted environment, other areas won't, and we'll be working with those communities to make sure vaccination rates go up. Overnight, of course, this explains why certain areas continue to be in lockdown. In the Western New South Wales Local Health District, there were 24 new cases overnight, 15 in Dubbo, 4 in Walgett, 2 in Bathurst, 2 in Narromine and 1 in Orange. In the Illawarra Shoalhaven region, 23 cases. 10 cases were in the Wollongong LGA, 12 cases in Shell Harbour and 1 case in the Shoalhaven. In the Far West, 4 cases, 2 in Broken Hill and 2 in Wilcannia. The Hunter region, 12 new cases overnight, 4 were in Port Stephens, 4 in Newcastle, 3 in Lake Macquarie, 1 in Maitland. On the Central Coast, there were 22 cases overnight, And again, it is concerning what's happening on the Central Coast. And we're asking people on the Central Coast to remain vigilant in what they are doing, to come forward and get tested, limit mobility, and again, make sure you get vaccinated. Southern New South Wales, there were 3 new cases overnight. There were cases that we flagged yesterday, 2 in Bateman's Bay, 1 in Cooma. But since 8 p.m. last night, we've now been given notice of 2 new cases, and both in Murrumbidgee. That's why in the southeast of the state, in an electorate like Bega, we continue to have those stay-home orders. Again, my call out to the community is to continue to get vaccinated. In the regions, we are no different. If we're going to beat the pandemic, if we're going to get back to a level of normal and no longer be locked down in the future, vaccination is our passport.